Hello, welcome to Soccer Yanks, where we are here to bring you the beautiful game from the American perspective. I'm your co-host, Dave.
And I'm your other co-host, Dan. And we'd like to apologize to the masses for missing you the last couple of weeks. I've had some issues with scheduling, and I don't even remember. I think Dave had some scheduling issues a week before that.
It happens.
And then there's the international break. I'm like, are we even going to podcast this week? Let's just give up. And then I heard the cries from the world. And they were like, don't you dare give up. So it was like one thing. It was like my mom. She was like, don't give up.
We're here for you guys.
And that's my bird in the background, as usual.
Welcome to the jungle. All right, well, we're going to dive right into it. We got a couple questions.
Yeah, we're going to do a little, I believe we are like 29% or 28% of the way through the league, at least a quarter way. I think we could start now making some...
11 games played.
11 out of 38. You can't reduce that. And I don't like to do math right now. I can do math. I love math. Math is great, but I don't like doing math
Math
on the
is
fly.
universal
I don't like doing long division on the fly.
Heard that.
So yeah, 28%, something like that. So we figured now I think is enough matches to start making some... I don't know. Just start picking some things. Starting to realize who's the cream, who's in the doldrums, who's good, who's bad, who's had a good summer, who didn't. So we got a couple of little ditties.
Yeah. We're gonna start off with biggest surprise club, and I think we probably have the same one on this one.
I think so. I think this is probably for everyone. I don't. This is not a surprise. The answer is not a surprise, but Southampton's performance through the first 11 matches has definitely surprised me.
Yeah. 2 losses, 1 draw. The rest are wins, 25 points.
Holding steady.
Number 2.
In second.
The Big Deuce. Yeah. What they did going into the season, everybody thought they would be the number 1 candidate for relegation. That wasn't a promotion club.
That was my pick. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, we talk about it every week. Every week we kind of led up to this point, and I think now with solidarity, we could say, by far, Southampton's been the biggest surprise of this league. A delightful surprise, mind you.
Yeah.
They've been a joy to watch.
Best story, I think. Positive story, at least.
So let's do it. Let's flip the coin, because there's not much to talk. There's other things to talk about Southampton, but I don't want to ruin a couple of the other categories there. Let's flip it. Biggest disappointment. Biggest disappointment as far as a club for you?
As an unbiased pundit, I'm going to have to say Liverpool. I mean, with the exception of losing Luis Suarez, they signed Balotelli. I mean, it's not. I know it's not like for like, but they didn't leave a void. And to be in 11th place, I know they lost Sturridge. That was a big hit, but they brought in all the best parts of that Southampton team.
They brought in several parts.
The guts.
They brought in some guts, yes.
And
although some people would argue that Wanyama and Schneiderlin were much more important to Southampton's success than Lallana. And I don't think, has Rodriguez even got back yet?
I don't think so. He's still injured.
There's still Rodriguez to join that team.
But to be in 11th place with 14 points?
Well, they spent a lot of money. I think there's definitely an argument to be made that the Liverpool, as far as, because if you look at it from expectation to where they are, mm-hmm. I think, yes, they're up there, one of the teams that I think are disappointing. I think a lot of Liverpudlians would have been expecting them to be pushing for a title again. And I think now they're pushing to just crack the top 4. And I think getting the top 4 would be an achievement at this point.
Yeah.
I have a different club, same city, different club. I think Everton has been, for me, the biggest disappointment. Not because they don't have loads of money. So they've already got a lot of restrictions in place. But, this Roberto Martinez, they solidified the deal for Lukaku. You thought they were going in a direction, right? They were battling to get in that top 4 last year. It was so close. And now they look like a shell of the team that they were last year. They don't have that fire. They don't have that verve. I only see them going further down the table from this point. I don't trust this Everton club. I don't know. There's something wrong there.
I think it was going to go the other way. I think they're going to hit their stride. I agree with where they are. It's a disappointment, but I think they're gonna figure out and kind of hit it.
Well, they do quote unquote finish strong.
Yeah.
Right. They do finish seasons usually pretty strongly. Or is that Martinez that finishes season strong?
It was actually Moyes.
Well, but I mean Martinez with Wigan would always go Barcelona on everyone for the last 6 weeks. But yes, Moyes also did have usually a second half of the season that was stronger than the first.
An upward surge.
So, same city, different clubs for us.
Fair enough.
Now, speaking of big clubs and who's going to make the top four and who's not, of the traditional, and by traditional I mean since 2004, the quote, and I put air quotes also, the big teams of Chelsea, Manchester City, Manchester United, Arsenal, and Liverpool. We'll call those the quote-unquote big teams. Who's not going to make the top four out of those five clubs?
Liverpool.
For sure.
Absolutely.
So you think the other four will make it? Because I think there's more than one. I think there's more than one club that's not going to make it.
I think 3 out of them. If Southampton stay the way they are, I think it's 3 out of those top 4. I think it's going to be Chelsea, Arsenal, and one of the teams from Manchester. If injuries don't destroy us,
I think it's good. I mean, to me, I know that you obviously you have your bias and you've got your hope, but I really don't think that United or Liverpool will make the top 4.
Fair enough. If anyone's going to beat them out, it's going to be Swansea, but I still think there's a chance. I'm saying there's a chance. I think if anyone can understand,
clubs that make that
make
everyone
it to
count
the
out.
top 4 because of even barring all injuries, it's you.
Yeah, but you don't have Arsene Wenger.
Nah.
That's the truth.
We don't have the hatchet face. You're right.
Whatever. Thumbs up. Oh wait, that's just your manager and his face. Looks like the bottom of a thumb.
I like David Lynch. It looks like David Lynch to me.
Yeah, but not as intelligent.
It's a mad genius.
Yeah, mad. Period. Okay.
You can't judge it over 3 months.
No, but David Moyes could have been judged after 1 week. I'm sorry. There's a huge hypocrisy in the fan base.
Yeah, but there's injuries, we do not have the same injury problem.
But you had a majority of the similar. You had similar. You're telling me Moyes had less talent, performed better, and got more crap than this guy. This guy has burnt through a checkbook like nothing.
Do you remember me last season?
You were not happy.
Yeah, but every week I still stood behind him.
Yes, but I'm talking at fan base. Generally speaking, the fan base is very hypocritical right now.
Up is down. Do you know what I mean?
It's opposite day in Manchester.
It's not. It's outside of the comfort zone. It's very confusing.
I'm sure. No, I do.
You're used to having a rock as a manager.
Right. I do agree that when a club gets flipped on its head like this, I think the fan base doesn't know what to do.
No, and it's. I don't even look at the message boards or the threads or whatever you want to call them. The tweet. I just stopped. It's just Daniel panicking.
Just avoid Reddit.
It's horrible. Even in the
I avoid Reddit. I avoid Reddit at all times now.
It's terrible. You can't even talk without being buried.
Yeah. Okay, let's move away from this one because that topic can go for a few hours. I have a question, posing a question to you. Between 2 signings, and there's a huge signing and an under-the-radar signing, who would you take at this point? Alexis Sanchez, 42.5 million euros, has scored 8 goals and 5 assists in the Premier League. Pele, from Southampton, cost only 8 million euros, has got you 6 goals and 2 assists in the Premier League. Who is the better signing? And who would you take?
For value, obviously, Pele. For impact on the team, because I don't think Pele is carrying that team by himself. But for the holes that had been filled for Arsenal, to keep him in that position in 6th place, they wouldn't be there without Sanchez. He's taken a couple games on his back and pulled a couple. I'd say 6 points are his. And at 17 points,
you could definitely make that argument. I would say that Sanchez is an absolute workhorse and proving to everyone that he is a world-class player. I mean, I think he's a monster. $42.5 million is a lot. I mean, he's doing. I think for $42.5 million, you're getting
what you paid for.
What you paid for. I think with Pele, you're getting super value because
Yeah.
you're getting way more than what you paid for.
And they wouldn't be in that position if it wasn't for him either. But he's not doing it by himself. It's a whole team effort.
There's a whole team effort. So I would actually have to say that for Arsenal's sake, Sanchez. I mean, because you have to put it in, if you put it into context, the better signing was Sanchez, because I think Southampton would have still been pretty decent without him.
Yeah.
You know, they would have been able to. I think they would have been able to put a few other players in there to do well, but Sanchez seems to be so critical to keeping Arsenal afloat, keeping them.
Their attack is Sanchez.
Yes and no. I mean, he's also the first half of the first 4 or 5 games. He a couple of his mistakes led to counterattack goals because of the way he plays. So that, I mean, you got to take the good with the bad. You know, he plays a certain way. He likes to keep the ball at his feet. He actually, I believe, got benched when, you know, I think there was a little bit of a rumor that he got benched because he was killing our mojo with losing the ball in really inopportune places. He's given that up, and other people are doing that now. So, but I think overall, you have to say that Arsenal probably doesn't have another caliber player that would have been able to produce that in his absence right now. And for sure, 6 points, very arguably 6 points, could be the other way if it wasn't for them. So I think that's pretty vital.
Yeah. So, next question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Who is the better manager, Monk or Koeman?
Monk or Koeman? I mean, Monk inherited a squad that stopped playing last season because of Michael Laudrup.
Uninspired.
They were completely uninspired. I don't know the details. I'm not sure if it was Monk that sent a lot of these guys packing that didn't want to play for him. That didn't want to play for Swansea because Laudrup was gone. I don't know if it was him or if it was someone else that had basically said, you don't want to play here, go ahead, leave. But he's now, at least at the minimum, has inspired the team to be they're playing like the Swansea that when they first came up, I was like, oh, wow, Swansea's a fun team to watch. I like this. But then you take a look at what Koeman has done with Southampton. And if you kind of look at his track record back in the Netherlands, he's turned a couple of dud teams over there into champions. So
to be second place in the EPL when everybody counted you're out, it's like the major league.
Yeah, and on top of that, not a rookie coach, but a rookie Premier League coach.
League,
your first time in the Premier League, which I don't know. Do we build it up? Sometimes I think because we're so in that Premier League bubble that we build up the
elitists.
There's a bit of elitism. I mean, I could recognize that we're insular. You know, we're not always looking to the other leagues. So, are we building it up that the Premier League is this echelon? I don't know. Maybe not. But it is a new environment. It is regardless a new environment.
But he had no pressure on him. That's the thing. No expectations. That's it's not a.
But does Monk have? What are the expectations for Monk? Also,
keep up. Just stay in the Premier League.
So that's what I'm saying. I think we could take expectation off the table because both of them had similar expectations.
True. But he is my answer for the second question for who's the unsung hero of the Premier League, because he doesn't get enough coverage.
Koeman. Okay, so you're saying Koeman is top manager between these two. At least, I mean, he might be top manager the league right now. He might be a candidate for manager of the year for sure.
Oh yeah.
I think that's I lean towards him. But I just don't like giving the Dutch too much credit.
But if you look at his track record with those teams, like you said, he turned young, Dutch teams around, and that's what Southampton was at the beginning of the season. At least that's why all the pundits.
So your unsung hero is Koeman.
Yeah, because
that was the next question, folks.
Yeah, that's my next. Or that's why on our list it was the other way around.
I got one. I got a whipping boy. Okay. I got a whipping boy that used to get a lot of crap.
Okay.
Stuart Downing.
Okay.
For West Ham. I mean, we're not really talking about West Ham, but they're in fourth place. I think I think a lot of people, including myself, do not believe that West Ham's going to finish that high up the table.
Yeah.
But hey, if you take a strong start and even if you take a couple of knocks later on, you've got a nice foundation that you're working with already. And I think Stuart Downing in that midfield has really redeemed himself.
And Song.
And Alex Song, Alex actually those two guys. I was deliberating in my head if it was Alex Song or unsung, unsonged hero, Alex Song or Stuart Downing. But I'm going to give it to Stuart Downing only because he's gotten so much crap from his previous stints in the Premier League.
His Twitter Q&As are the best. What's it like to be neither-footed?
He's my unsung hero right now. I think he's doing such a great job, And you have a manager that's now Sam Allardyce has gone from medieval football per Jose Mourinho to Ener Valencia, Sacco, Downing playing well. I mean, it's almost like they're playing regular football.
Attractive football.
Semi attractive football.
It's weird.
It is weird.
So who do you think is going to get the sack?
I mean, there's the obvious candidates, right? There's the Redknapps, the Pardews. Although Pardew, I think, has saved himself a little bit.
Yeah, I think he bought himself at least till February.
The manager of Burnley, Sam Dyche. I don't know. He's in dead last. I think they just earned their first win last week.
I think it's Dice.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
But I'm going to throw you a screwball. This is my real pick for most likely to be sacked. Paul Lambert.
That's what my pick was.
Aston Villa.
That was my pick.
He's had too many years of underperforming, of showing so much flashes of brilliance and then dropping the ball.
That is my pick as well. I think this is his last year there.
Unless he's got 3/4 of the season to turn things around.
Panic on the streets of Birmingham. Sorry, that's my Smiths. Yeah, he doesn't. To be constantly on the bubble, I think they need a bit more stability. Yeah, what are you gonna do? The Golden Boot's hard because any of the strikers that are those constantly injured, they can come back and go on like a 4 or 5 goal tear, and then get injured again. Aguero, he can have like 3 hot games in a row and put himself back into the.
Well, he's first right now. He's got 12 goals.
Yeah,
but he could put himself in. What you're saying is he could put himself in a slump by hamstring again. Golden Boot, I think, will end up with Aguero this year, though.
Yeah.
I think so. He's got 12 right now. Costa's got 10. Sanchez, 8. Berarino, 7. Charlie Austin, 6.
Nuts.
But that's half of the leader. I mean, but you know what? Charlie Austin is going to have 3 goals that are going to be candidates for goal of the year.
That's nuts crackers, as they call them. But yeah, if Aguero stays healthy, absolutely. If not, obviously Costa, because he started out hot, but I don't know.
Yeah, but he's injured. That's why
I don't think he can do a whole season.
I don't think he's gonna have a whole season at that pace that he had.
And he's still in the Champions League, right? Or no, everyone's out.
No, Chelsea's in.
Chelsea's still in.
Yeah.
And they're still in the FA.
Yes.
So they're gonna.
Are they still in the Capital One Cup too?
Probably.
I don't know.
I haven't been following the Capital One.
But he got left off the Spain team.
Even so, he's.
But do you want to make him mad?
He's their only out and out striker. He's got amazing support.
Well, I think some people would argue that Loic Remy could do a job.
He's another injury prone.
Yes,
but
you have Drogba. That's whatever. How many years old?
Sub.
38 years old. 37. 37.
On paper.
Oh, don't pull a Eto.
I don't know. But yeah, I think that's them. One or the other. But Aguero, if he stays healthy, for me. Who do you think's going to win the injury league?
At this rate,
I think I'm going to win.
Manchester United at this
United's
rate.
gonna win.
Although there's the
41.
leader
41
right
on you.
now, I think, is Newcastle. They've according to InjuryLeague.com, they have 121 days of injury, and United is right behind at 118. Then Arsenal at 92. 92 sub 3 digits. Ha!
I read Manchester United had 68 different defensive combinations since the start of the season.
How's that? Oh, because of like substitutions,
Sub back four adjustments and
back three adjustments. Remember that?
it was 3 in the beginning, and then we didn't have any more. There's no more center backs left. You had to like double left backs and double right backs. Valencia actually hasn't been that bad.
No.
he can track back and he can go forward when he has to.
So wait, who are the new injuries now?
Blind, Falcao.
Well, Falcao's not really a new injury. He's just kind
was
of like
supposed to come back.
He's just kind of like a
It was
recurring or extended injury.
A nag.
What about Di Maria? Is he going to be playing?
It said Di Maria and De Gea are good, but they were both injured on the international break. Got
So
studs up from Loney Nani, still under contract from United.
You know, Fergie would have had Nani's head.
Oh.
He would have flown to wherever they were.
Oh. Who knows? He still might.
You'll never play for United again.
He's on the board. All right, who's the fittest club for you?
I mean, it's Chelsea.
You know what their lineup's going to be.
They never get hurt.
That lady and her magic spray.
I don't even think it's that. I think, honestly, Roman Abramovich is actually the devil.
He's got so much horse placenta stockpiled.
That's what it is. They've got they cryo. Actually, all the players after they leave the field, they go into they cryogenically freeze them for 1 week, and then they open up. They're like, all right, guys, no time has passed. Go back on the field.
It's the only thing that makes
it's like Demolition Man.
It's the only thing that makes it through the Russian sanctions. It's the horse placenta for Abramovich.
I don't know. Chelsea's got something, and you know what it is? What's crazy is that Chelsea has. It's not that they're healthy this season. They're pretty healthy for as long as I can remember. I mean, okay, yeah, they got 1 or 2 guys here and there that are out. But like, when was the last time you saw Oscar or Hazard or who's another mainstay? John Terry or Cahill. These guys are like John Terry and Cahill. They don't have another defender.
The same too.
It's like almost they don't need another defender because these guys are indestructible.
Ugh. Ugh. Well, anyway, what do you got going into the weekend?
Might go to IKEA. Oh, you mean soccer?
Yeah. We got City versus the other city in Wales, the Swansea City. Stoke, Burnley. Everton versus the Hammers. Newcastle, Cooper. Chelsea versus West Brom.
Cooper!
Leicester and Sunderland on Saturday, but everybody wants to watch the big game on Saturday.
I think there's only one big match.
Yeah, this weekend at least.
Who's Liverpool playing? Liverpool's playing Palace.
Hull and Tottenham. Yeah, Arsenal and United is the
Hull and Tottenham. That's where Tottenham belongs. Yes, Arsenal, Manchester City at the Emirates.
City.
That was Manchester United. My apologies.
Yeah.
I'm half a Scotchin.
Oh.
Oh, my bad.
Oh, it's just the other color.
Just the other color. Exactly. It shares 3/4 of the name. Okay. United travels down to London.
Foggy London down.
What do you think? What are you thinking?
This is a complete toss-up.
It's not for me.
It's either going to be a bloodbath one way or the other, or a draw.
It's going to be a draw. I really, honestly, I feel like United deserves like a thrashing by Arsenal for the last 6-7 years of not doing so well against United. It's just, there's something that, I don't know if it's in Wenger or the players. I mean, not even all these players have been around for all that time. But and I don't know, maybe it's United gets, they step it up when they come to play Arsenal. But even last season when United was doing poorly, couldn't beat them. We drew and we lost. And United didn't have a great season. Now I set my expectations at a draw, and I walk away. I would love a win, but I see a draw. I see a draw only on the basis of history, not on the actual basis of form. The English players that play for Arsenal they all had a great break. They all have outstanding.
Welbeck looked good.
Welbeck looked good. Jack Wilshere got his 4th Man of the Match award in a row for England. Did you see his assist to Oxlade-Chamberlain?
Very creative.
Sick ball. Ox has been playing well. He's had some good runs into the box. I think he's got a couple assists.
Trusts his legs.
So, the English boys are doing well. Sanchez scored 2 goals over the break. Yaya Sanogo scored a brace.
Both of us, our teams have the same problem. Great at the front. The back end is the biggest liability. That's why I said it could be a bloodbath either way. It could be a high-scoring draw.
I don't even think that Arsenal's not even great going forward. There's something missing. There's something lacking.
Is Arteta coming back anytime soon?
From what I read today, he will be available for selection on Saturday, and so will Olivier Giroud.
What about Flamini?
Flamini's fine. He's been around, but he's been. Unfortunately, this is probably the end of the road.
He is my sleeper pick for FIFA Ultimate Team, by the way. Flamini, if any BPL players.
Why is that?
No, he's just a monster for me when I play him.
Really?
Yep. So just had to throw that in there.
No, he's quite a dud. No, he's not a dud. I'm sorry. It's a little mean. I think the role that he's been given is beyond him, and it's not necessarily his fault. It's just that he's not
used the way he should.
He's not. Yeah, and I don't know. Arsenal's got a bevy of issues right now. That's between the defensive stability issues, and for example, against Swansea, what happened was, I watched the match, and you watch the match, and you go, all right, well. Arsenal's biggest fault here was they took the lead and they kept pressing for more goals rather than like we're away from home, we got the goal, let's close it out.
Lock it up.
And when the game drew, they were still pushing quite forward for the extra goal, and they were leaving the right side wide open, and Chambers was unfortunately outmatched by Montero. Nobody was coming back to help him out. But it wasn't necessarily like, the team was shambles. No, it was the focus. The commitment was to do one thing when they should have been doing something else. So it's not, it's not that they're bad. They're just something. The tactics are not there. The mentality's not there. There's something missing. Not that we can speak all too highly about United right now, and there's issues there as well. The defense. I can't even name what your starting defense is going to be this Saturday.
It's like the Magic 8 Ball. Some people say Johnny Evans is coming back. I don't know. I'd rather the ball boy in some cases.
Is Blackett back? Is he going to get? Because he got sent back down to the under-21s.
Yeah, and then he picked up a knock, and then Shaw was doing really good. Shaw's going to be on the left side, that's for sure.
Rojo got injured.
He injured his leg or ankle or something 3 weeks ago. He'll be out for 2 months. Paddy McNair did great. They had Fletcher.
Still a young kid.
He's been solid though. He hasn't made any mistakes, and he made some killer last stands on the line clearances. And they had Carrick playing at center back, and he did great. But what are you gonna do? You gotta do what you gotta do. Make it work. And Valencia at right back. He's been all right, covering when he has to. I think he's disciplined enough to play the position, at least when we need him. I don't think it's a permanent place for him. But Raphael is 50-50.
So really don't know.
Before,
it's whoever it is. It's whoever's left over.
68 different combinations at the back line.
There'll be 69 starting Saturday.
There'll be triple digits by the end of the season. There's no doubt. And there's people who are saying, we'll make a run at the winter break. Everybody and their mother knows that the price is going to go up at least double, because they know United need to spend the money, and I think they're going to be this season. They're going to try to give as many youngsters as what they can. Nobody has expectations now, as long as they stay where they should. They're not going to lose their money on the kit deal. That was the other thing I read about. Next year, the new Adidas contract goes in, the highest kit deal ever, £70 million a year for 10 years.
Wow.
And
Adidas makes the most ugly. I hate Adidas jerseys. I'm sorry.
I think they might be able to pull. I think they're going to do a throwback, the whole '93 Sharps. I think it's classic. I hope they do the flower.
I really, really hate Adidas jerseys.
Oh, I love Adidas.
I look at all the Major League Soccer teams.
Like nipples.
Yeah, no. I don't. I'm Puma. I'm indifferent. I'm indifferent when it comes to Puma. They have some good ones and some ones. And it's not that I love Nike either. but Adidas with the 3 stripes down the arm, I'm sorry, I hate it.
It's your brand.
I get it. Your brand goes, your brand goes on, you got a little brand logo. You got the 3 stripes on the arm for everybody. I mean, look at the new New York City FC kit. It's basically Manchester City with 3 stripes on the arm. It's like ridiculous. I look at all the MLS clubs and I'm like, ugh, most of these are so awful. I mean,
I'm glad they changed
Sporting
Columbus
KC
one,
is
though.
like got a pretty decent kit.
I'm glad Columbus changed, though. That was tired.
Oh, yeah.
That was like the last remnants of the original MLS.
YMCA.
But yeah, I think that, I was sorry, I forgot to finish. If they miss the Champions League two years in a row, starting next year, so it doesn't start this year, it starts next year, that number gets bumped down. I think 10 or 15 million.
Interesting.
It's a big financial incentive.
Yeah.
But
That's worth bribing officials.
it's life at the top. Where's Howard Webb when you need him?
He's now the head of the officials. It's very easy.
Winning.
So we're both going draw, or you're saying it's going to be either draw or bloodbath. There's a bloodbath that's only going to be in one way. I don't think the United is going to slaughter Arsenal.
No.
No, those are my kids running around with pretend high heels. Thank you. No, I don't think so. I don't know. I don't see it. I know Arsenal's defense has been quote unquote in shambles. There is some issues there, but it's not. It's been actually of the goals we've let up. They've been headers, more headers than anything else. So that's the real issue. It's not. I'm not so concerned with someone playing us off the park. I'm more concerned about getting beat on the break,
Set pieces,
stuff like corners. That's what worries me. But I'm not a draw. It's going to be a draw. I'm not even worried about it.
I was going to convince you. All right, folks.
That's it. You're looking at me like, you got any more? No, that's just, my kids that don't stop running around. We're recording a little bit earlier today than we usually do.
All right, folks, that's it. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please reach out to us on the Twitter or email us at socceryanks@gmail.com. I thought you were going to...
Oh, you wanted me to kick in there?
That was a segue.
My bad.
I thought you were going to take over on the comms.
No. Yes, socceryanks@gmail.com, socceryanks.com. On the Twitter, socceryanks. I am socceryankdan. That is my handle on Twitter as well.
I am socceryank Dave.
Have a great and glorious weekend.
Enjoy the matches.